Yo guys, welcome to RenderRam. My name is Vieku and today we're gonna continue with our 3ds Max journey. So in the last video I showed you how to create some basic primitive objects and I gave you a task to kind of explore things. We also learned some basic manipulation tools, but now we're gonna add some extra things. We're gonna talk about shapes. We're gonna introduce this new thing that's called modifiers. Plus, I'm gonna show you some key hotkeys that you need to learn, but most of all, I'm gonna be introducing the best button in the entire world, and that's the undo, cancel, whatever you did, don't do it button, and it's the right click. Get this. So I got this text here. Let's first start with the whole right click best button in the world. So let me just activate my move tool. So get this, whatever you're doing in Max, any action that you do, in the middle of that action, if you just right click, it's gonna cancel out the action. So if I wanna move the text here and I don't like it, right click, it's gonna move to the original position. If I wanna, for example, rotate the text and I don't like it, right click, it's gonna move to the original position. As you can see, I have some sort of thickness here, so this is a slider for that. So if I, overdid it, just right click and it's gonna do that. The point is, when you're initiating the right click, you have to do it in the middle of pressing the left one, meaning that you click on the left one, you do some sort of action while the left one is clicked, you just in the same time, you just hit the right click, while this one is clicked, and it's gonna undo the action. So click, hold, click, hold, right click, boom, goes there. Okay, now we can continue. Another thing that you also need to start using are some shortcuts in Max. I'm gonna show you 3 most basic shortcuts. These are probably like whenever I sit at the computer, when I turn on Max, like my hand instantly goes on those 3 shortcuts. That's like the core basic, and that's the W, E, R. So when you hover your mouse over the move tool, you see how it says select and move W. When you go to the rotate, select and rotate E. When you go to the scale, it doesn't say anything. I guess this is a typo, but that's the R. So look at this. I'm just gonna press it. W, E, R. Move, rotate, scale. So with your objects, look at this. W, E, R. So when you go to W, that's the move tool. You want to rotate something now, click the E, and now you can rotate. And now you want to scale something, just press R, and now you can scale. But I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to right click it, and it's going to undo. Now, how the hell did I do this text? The whole RenderRam text and all that. Remember the last time when I showed you all, the ways how you can create boxes, spheres, teapots, whatever. Well, there is a beautiful thing called shapes. It's here. So all the boxes of the solid objects, are here. It's under this icon. If you go tab next to it, this is the shapes. So when you click that, you get splines. What are splines? Splines are pretty much, if you're familiar with Illustrator or Photoshop, those are vectors. So those are like invisible lines which can form shapes. So that's how I wrote, the whole RenderRam text, and then I added the magical effect to make it look 3D so that it kind of has some sort of volume. So this is how we go about it. Line is the most basic one. So click on the line and look at this. Click, move, click, move, click, move, click, move. If you're done with this, just right click and it's gonna, finish the action. So now you got yourself a line. So what can you do with those? So go to the modify panel here, and now you see some options for that spline. One thing that I do, by the way, in Max, which is very practical for me, is I like to extend this so that I can see more of the options. So look at this. If you just hover your mouse here on the corner, click, you can now drag, drag, drag until you get 2 rows. If you want to be crazy, you can have 4 rows. Don't be too crazy. So let's keep it like this. So here you can see, let's just start with basics. So if you click on enable in viewport, see what happened. Look at this. Boom, boom. Our line got some sort of shape. So when you go down here where it says radial, you can adjust the thickness of that. So look at this. We literally got like a pipe. A pipe kind of thing. If you go to rectangular, it's gonna start to create rectangular shapes of that spline. So you're gonna get this boxy, whatever this is. One thing that I do out of the habit, and I never had the need to not do it, is whenever I click enable in viewport, in parallel, I always click enable in render. So just click both, or if I need to unclick it, I'm gonna unclick both. So what does that mean? When you click enable in viewport, the effect of the box will be visible in the viewport, but when you hit the render, it's not gonna be in the render. So you actually have to additionally click enable in render for it to be also visible there. Now, if I go to my shapes again, by the way, these are called splines, as you can see. You have various different splines here. So if I create, let's say, a rectangle, so I click this, we have a rectangle. But what you can notice, enable in viewport and in render and rectangular is also selected for this one. That does not mean that these two are linked, because look at this. If I turn this off, it's just going to be turned off for this. If I create this one to be radial, it's going to become, radial. If I now create a circle, it's also going to be radial because it's just repeating what the one before that did. But let's go back to the rectangle. So if you scroll down, actually here, you got the parameters of that rectangle. You can make it, longer, wider, etc. But you have the corner radius. So look at this. If you increase the corner radius, you can, kind of add this nice cornering to your shape. If you click on the circle, the only parameter is radius. So you can just increase the radius and create a donut. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and create a text. So let's go to our create panel. Under the shapes, we got text. So click on the text. By the way, one thing that might be a little bit confusing, when I clicked on the text, you see these options here, and these options look identical to when you hit the modify tab. These are pretty much just the options that you can set up before creating the object. So for our text, I don't want our text to have, these radial thicknesses. So I'm just gonna turn off enable in viewport and in render, and I'm just gonna do a click. And we got this. This is our first text. If you go to your modify panel, here you can now edit your text. So you see here where it says parameters, you can change the font. So let's change to something like, I don't know, this, just move this here, okay? You can even add multiple rows of text. So just hit enter and just say Part02. And now you can change the kerning or the leading. It's just a, basic text manipulation. You can change like how you want to center the text, etc. Now, how the hell do you make this text 3D? How do you make it pop? Now we are generally entering the beautiful stage of modifiers. So on the top of every whenever you click on an object and you're in the modify tab, you're gonna have this modifier list. So as you can see, modifier list is absolutely everywhere. So modifiers are pretty much the special effects that you can put on your object, so kind of give them extra properties. So for this one, I want to make this text thicker, so I'm gonna use the modifier that's called extrude. So scroll down, find the extrude, and just click it here, and voila. Look at this, we got ourselves some text that is pushed out, and now you can even change the amounts of extrude, etc. So this is how this whole logic works. We got the text. Text is our basic object, and we got the extrude, that's the effect on the text. So as you can see, if I click here, just have the rectangle, you just have the sphere, there's no effects on it, but when I click here, you can see that we have the extrude on it. If you click on the little eye, it's gonna turn it on and off. But in general, if you wanna do something with your text, like with the original one, you just click on the text below, and now you see your original starting, text effects. And from here, you can just, I don't know, change the size or, or whatever. Now let's explore some more modifiers. I'm gonna click my teapot here. So I'm gonna look for a modifier that's called bend, but I'm not gonna, look for a modifier in the list, even if it's pretty obvious where it is. What you can do, when you just click on the modifier list, you see like type to search. So I can just type bend, and there you go. And now you can just hit enter, and you're gonna activate a bend. Nothing visually happened. So this is our teapot. It has the properties that it has. So now when you click on the bend, you have some sort of properties here. So look at this. If I start increasing the angle, look what happens. So our teapot is being bent. See, like this, boom. It's like it wants to fill something. So let's set that angle to be something like this. Now you can change the direction of this angle. So look at this. Y, it's gonna do these funky things. You see, like these angles. X, for the X, it pretty much does this. You can also change like the directions. You see, like this, it looks like it's, I don't know, doing a massage or something. So there's a lot of modifiers, you just need to experiment with a lot of those to see what they do. I'm gonna be covering a lot of modifiers, but generally almost every object that you're gonna have in your scene will have modifiers. They're just an everyday thing. Now, let me show you one more thing with splines. So when you click on the line thing, You see like how we created this line here, which is kind of an open line. It's not a closed line. So let me create one open line like this, and I'm going to create one closed line like this. So what does a closed line mean? It just means that it's a full circle. So I'm just going to click on the starting point here. So you click on the starting point. Do you want to close the spline? So say yes. And now look what happens. So we got these two. If I click on the closed one, and if I go to my modifier list here, type extrude, we're gonna get this. But if I go to this one and type extrude, I'm gonna get this. So it's not gonna be, like a fully closed shape. It's just gonna be an open shape. Also, there is one more specific move that you can also practice. When you click on the line, and let's say, like how we've been drawing lines like this. Well, if you long press, like click and hold your mouse button and just move it around, you're getting this. So instead of just doing click, 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 so click and hold and now release, look what happens. Click and hold, we got this. Click and hold, we got this. Now click and hold here, and I'm just gonna click, click, click. And we got this shape. Now you can again go to extrude, make it like this. Then I'm gonna go to my modifier list again, and I'm gonna scroll down where it says twist. So if you click on the twist, this will add a second modifier. So now with twist, I can, just twist it. So it's gonna look funky like this. Twist is also a very cool modifier. Look at this, if I add it here, so twist, you can do some funky business with twist. I think that will do it for today. In the next video, I think we're gonna dive into how to more modify your objects, how to maybe model something, and how to use some more complex spline manipulations. So yeah, stick around and see you in the next video. Bye.